Congratulations, Cody fans. We Want Cody has won, or has it? This is the dark match.
People have been asking me, why, Eddie, why?
I'm better than you.
Why I surrender out in the back smoking a joint with their dad.
You know it.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your boy Stevie Jobber.
And it's your boy Dangerous Duke.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. This is the dark match, and today we have one topic and one topic only, and that is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So they had this surprise press conference on Thursday after the pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding and at times very inappropriate messages to people that had nothing to do with this. But we won't get into that. The point is, we ranted, we stormed the internet saying hashtag we want Cody. I don't know how deep you got into that, but at some point it came to a head.
Mm-hmm.
And Thursday, before the live SmackDown, they held a press conference that nobody really knew about prior. Did you know this was happening prior to us going up in arms about this?
Now, I seen something that said they were doing a press conference. I didn't know it was going to be this important of a press conference to this level of magnitude, but I heard whisperings of the conference, just didn't know it was going to be as significant as it ended up being.
Very significant. So on the panel, they had some interesting stuff. There was Rhea Ripley. There was Becky Lynch that shot an angle I'm not really happy about, but that's not the point of this podcast. They go on to have Seth Rollins come out, which leads to calling out Cody Rhodes, which leads to Roman Reigns coming out, which then leads to Roman Reigns picking The Rock, which then leads to Cody Rhodes saying, "This is some bullshit."
Mm-hmm.
And Cody declares his actual choice for WrestleMania being Roman Reigns. And then things get out of hand, right?
Yeah, just a tad.
So The Rock calls Cody's diehard fans Cody crybabies. He says that Dusty would be ashamed of him, or Roman says that Dusty would be ashamed of him. And then Cody says that both of their grandfathers would be ashamed of them. And The Rock steps up and does this whole family Vin Diesel speech and slaps the taste out of Cody's mouth. And then everything goes awry.
Yeah.
Seth jumps in, Hunter jumps in. He was already standing there like Dana White when people are at the weigh-ins doing the face-off. Like, all right, let's not get too rowdy. Everybody ended up jumping in, and in a weird twist of fate, Rock, Roman, and Paul Heyman are walking out of there together, united. And a war of words is beginning to start between Triple H and The Rock, but beyond all of that, where are you at now on Cody versus Roman?
Okay. Let's get ready. As far as Cody versus Roman, is it a story that I am invested in? Naturally so, because it comes from last year where Cody had to finish the story and he didn't get to finish it. So to see him get the chance to finish it now, yeah, okay, I'm invested in it because it's compelling. You have a reason to sit down and pay attention to it. I'm just not fully in tune with it, with how they got there, because I'm still on the caveat of the last dark match that we did, where we wanted Rock versus Roman. They gave us Rock versus Roman, and then now that we finally got Rock versus Roman, we didn't want it. So I'm still kind of like on that side of defensive things. Now, am I upset that it's Cody and Roman? No, I'm not. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be good. But it kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know. I don't know why. That's just where I stand on it.
My initial thoughts are um bittersweet because and ironically I'm on the other side of the fence because I feel like, well, this is what happens when you listen to the people. I
Mm-hmm.
like I was very satisfied with the adjustments they made that they had to make.
Mm-hmm.
And because radical fans are radical fans, they made adjustments to our suggestions on the fly that results in trying to make the best out of a situation where we tried to give you everything you wanted and you just didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a lot of people going, "Oh, this wasn't the way to get here, and this wasn't the way to do this," and just kind of not taking in all the elements that led them to make the adjustments they made in the first place. Like certain guys went out that weren't supposed to get out. Certain guys had to be Thanos snapped from the company. Certain adjustments had to be made because of injuries, and we had already planted seeds for this to fall in sort of an easy switch kind of way where everyone to an extent could be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And we said no. We as a and not me as in me and you, because I was very satisfied with Rock and Roman and Cody and Seth. But the wrestling community collectively said, we're not having it.
Mm-hmm.
So they made an adjustment. And now we're like, well, I don't really know why you would do this adjustment this way. Well, because it didn't feel like we were gonna wait. Y'all didn't give them no grace. Y'all didn't take any time to understand the situation and be like, this is a fair adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted what you wanted, and we had to make on the fly adjustments accordingly with no build.
Pretty much.
So you can't argue how dissatisfied the way you went about it is if we didn't give them to time to adjust.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to make it the best of a bad situation because nobody thought they'd be in the position where The Rock wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
Where we give you two dream matches that have built-in stories and you're not satisfied. So we got to reverse somehow and make it logical. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trusting them to do the best that they can do because now The Rock has to be incorporated in some sort of way and they have to adjust to people not accepting a match set for Seth Rollins that they don't have the time to build to. Um, it's just a lot of it puts it in a weird place for them.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them the grace to try and figure out what they can do that satisfies everybody. Now that The Rock is in here now because we brought him in to make y'all happy, y'all didn't like it. Now we got to find a way to bring all that full circle in a story sense by April.
Um, I will say though, one thing that I do like that they did that's kind of I guess you could say it's like a breath of fresh air in a sense, but I like that they turned Rock heel for this because this is the first time in we're what 2024. This is probably the first time in like 20 years Rock has been seen in a negative light as a bad guy, and I don't even know that he's necessarily a heel. I think he's just on the heel side because of family ties. So I think by them throwing that little twist in of all right, Rock's gonna back Roman for this, So let's make them go all the way. Let's give them the heel tendencies with the slapping of the white hot baby face. It's kind of it's they did okay with it with that move. I'm interested because Rock's heel on Roman's side, so I kind of want to see how they can inch this forward with the Rock and or with Roman and Cody, and then maybe potentially later down the line give us that dream match with Rock and Roman that we've been calling for. I'm interested. I will say that it's still kind of weird that they had to take so many twists and turns and steps and leaps just to get us to this point when
Hmm.
we really didn't need to do so much, but because the fans wanted something different, they kind of had no choice.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of what the big deal about this press conference was. It was kind of like their way of fast tracking to get us to the point we're at.
I believe that completely. And I totally agree. I think the funny thing is, I think for at least four of the gentlemen in that situation, it might have been a no brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Those four people being Paul, Hunter, Rock, and Roman. I think after seeing the bad response and trying to figure out a way to fix it organically,
Mm-hmm.
for the four of them, it because they're so naturally heels. I think it might have been a no brainer for them to be like, okay, they don't like me here. They don't like the feeling that I'm running things for the family.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like the fact that um, Triple H is letting it happen because he's seemingly the good guy. And it seems like I'm stepping over Cody. I'm the bad guy in this.
Yeah.
Let's lean into that completely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I am doing it for my family. Yeah, I am overstepping my boundaries. Yeah, I am pushing Hunter around. Yeah, I am bullying Cody and playing mind games because it's the fastest way to organically get to a place where Cody can do what he got to do. We can get the event back, and Rock can not have to be this tweener and have this John Cena problem of some people like me, some people hate me. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? If you just lean into that, and now we got events.
Yeah.
So, I mean, congratulations to us, I guess.
Yeah. It kind of does leave us in a tougher spot going forward though. But I mean, if they can navigate, I feel like there's a way they can kind of keep this solidified and make it whole. They
Hmm.
just have to take the right steps and make it seem organic.
Hmm.
Don't have us feel like you're forcing us into this spot because we said we wanted it, then we didn't want it, and then we wanted something else. It just has to feel organic in a sense. It can't feel too forced.
Hmm.
Because I feel like if you're gonna force it, that's just gonna make us not want it again. And then we end up in a whole nother rabbit hole. So as long as they can keep it feeling natural, keep it feeling organic and fresh, then the end result shouldn't matter.
Hmm.
It's gotta feel natural.
It's got to feel natural.
That's where I'm at on it.
So, the only thing I have left, because I think we're both generally not sure how this is going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my biggest question from this is I think the person that suffers the most in the end is Seth. Um,
Yes.
because easily now the winner of the Elimination Chamber fights Seth at WrestleMania, but Seth kind of had no place in that, you know?
Yeah.
And to be so involved, like, is that going to put Seth at a place where he now is involved in this story, or was Seth here as just this pointless other option that we were gonna go with and now we can't go with? You know what I mean? Was he just
Yeah.
there as a placeholder? I'm not really sure what Seth's place in the grand scheme of that angle was.
Yeah, it definitely does put Seth in a tougher spot, not only just in that press conference, but going forward. because now you have to fast track build him as well. And he's got his own thing he's got to focus on. It's going to be even tougher for him because he's going to feel, again, like second fiddle. So it's they have a lot to navigate, especially not even just with this storyline, but with Seth as well now, because now it kind of puts him behind the 8 ball. So
Right.
it's a tough spot everywhere around, no matter where you look. Just because fans wanted this and now they want this, it puts him in a tougher spot as well.
Because I can't imagine. I'll say this and then we'll take it home. I can't imagine that Seth doesn't have some sort of an angle if they're gonna go with Roman and Cody one-on-one without The Rock being in his corner. If The Rock is going to participate in a match at WrestleMania, which it looks like he got all jacked up to do, does that mean it's gonna be Rock and Seth, which you can't do because you have somebody from the chamber? But does that, like, how do you now incorporate Rock in a match now, unless you give him Seth or Jay or I just don't know how. But then you're incorporating another person into this, like,
yeah, there's a whole caveat of stuff you have to figure out now just because of one thing changing. It's like you took one piece out from the puzzle away, and now you got to figure out how to complete the puzzle without that one piece.
So that's my only thing. I feel like they're doing the best they can, but after Thursday, I just want to make sure it tracks out because it leaves us with way more questions than answers.
Yeah. I'm gonna end it on, at least the last thing I'm gonna say on the matter is it's like they shot themselves in the foot and now they're trying to run the 5K. That's what this feels like to me. The WWE kind of shot themselves in the foot with this whole storyline, and now they're trying to run a 5K marathon. They might be able to do it, but it's going to be very slow and very painful.
Yeah, but I mean that's all we got. Just a caveat of different things, a lot of questions, a lot of answers, a lot of angles, a lot of twists and turns, and it's interesting. Like WrestleMania in Philly is going to be very interesting, but it's just funny. We felt we had to do this because last week we did Rock and Roman, and it was one of our bigger pods recently, and now we have to change that whole angle apparently. So
right. So I mean, but that's what makes this entertaining though. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Guys, drop a comment, let us know what you think about this whole thing. If you think it should have been Rock and Cody, if you think it, or not Rock and Cody, if you should have been Rock and Roman, if it should have been Cody and Roman, where does The Rock fit into this whole scheme going forward? Drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think. We might be able to touch on it again. But I'm Dangerous Duke. That's Stevie Jobber over there. This is The Dark Match.
People have been asking me,
To be the best in the world.
why, Eddie, why?